and a significant drop-off in views compared to her pre-controversy numbers, with her also losing 15,000 subscribers and counting ever since. It's a shame too, because in the comment section of that video are fans of Go Motion who are lamenting and expressing sadness about the situation. Some are saying that they used to watch her, but now can't. It's the same thing with the YouTube drama subreddit, a place that's usually filled with controversy piranhas looking to strike. When Go Motion's news broke, it was filled with the heartbroken. The conversations that she was having were obviously inappropriate, but a lot of what she was saying, to me at least, seemed more like what you should be telling to a trained professional rather than a teenager. Trauma dumping, jealousy, codependence, and just generally the relationship that they shared was not healthy, and it was unfair for the victim. These allegations were said to be true by a former associate of hers known as Salt DK Dan, despite Go Motion releasing her own document, attempting to respond to the allegations, and trying to allege that much of this was taken out of context. Looking at replies to this document, it appears as though most people are of the opinion that she's trying to make herself out to be the victim, or saying that her story doesn't hold up. And so to many, Go Motion's career is now over. What I'll say about this is that I hope that all of the parties involved are able to move on from it, and that Go Motion gets the help that I think she needs. So with that said, let's move on. So moving on, this video would not be complete without me mentioning one of the most infamous FNAF creators in YouTube history. His name is Squimpus McGrimpus.
687 megabits per second. I mean, that is true 5G speeds. Now, if you're not familiar with TravelFi,
Now, loyal fans of the channel might somehow recognize that name from deep within their synapses. This is a creator that I mentioned within my Downfall in YouTubers iceberg that I published around this time last year. Now, over the past year, to the best of my knowledge, nothing has really changed that much about the situation. There haven't really been any breaking updates or new details to share with you. So just for anyone that wants to re-jog their memory, or anyone that didn't see the Downfall in YouTubers iceberg, I'm going to play the clip of what I had to say in that video right now, and I'll get back to you afterwards. This next one comes from you guys. I asked you to give me suggestions of obscure content creators that saw a downfall, and SwaggyG2102 suggested Squimpus McGrimpus, who I take is fairly unheard of outside of the Five Nights at Freddy's community. They were known by many a couple of years ago, with videos that consistently got hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views each. But in late 2020, it appears as though they abandoned their channel just after they had reached 200,000 subscribers. That should have been the end of it. But in March 2023, a burner account went onto Twitter with some fairly damning Discord screenshots of Squimpus McGrimpus admitting that for several years they had exchanged NSFW drawings with someone that they knew were underage. McGrimpus was roughly 17 years old at the time, and the other person was apparently 14. The person that they had sent these NSFW drawings to were also a fan of theirs. And so this burner account alleged that not only was there an imbalance of age, but also status. These interactions happened on and off for years, even into late 2022, by which point McGrimpus would have been 20, and this fan of theirs was apparently 16. Apparently, this was fetish art, and while this expose wasn't meant to kink shame, it was meant to hold Squimpus McGrimpus accountable for their actions. Squimpus McGrimpus would come clean and admit that what had been said was in fact true. They said that they were extremely remorseful for what happened, and that they were going to step away for an extended period of time to improve themselves. They haven't posted to Twitter ever since the admission, and within the FNAF community, this is yet another creator that was once revered and is now revived. Apparently, this is a somewhat common problem for the fanbase.
When making a race car, you really want to start with something that was already designed with performance in mind. You know, like a 911 or a Mustang. Hell, even a Miata would do well. What you don't want is a 7-seater minivan. Converting that would just be impossible.
Why isn't it possible? It's just not.
Are you sure about that? Well, I'll be damned. And guess what, guys? That isn't even the worst example. Hey, guys, Stipe here with a list of the most unlikely cars to ever have entered a race.
Welcome
Let's
back,
go.
driver.
Number 7, Mercedes 300 SEL. Mercedes S-Class is a full-size, full-fat, full luxury four-door sedan. Always has been. But the one thing it never has been is good on a racetrack. Wrong. The idea to create this Red Pig, as it was later nicknamed, was born soon after the introduction of a V8 engine, the 1967 S-Class. It's that same 6.3 from Tito's limo, and Mercedes chose it because it was smoother than the existing straight six, not because it would turn the S-Class into a luxury muscle car. But it did. This S-Benz was as quick as a V12 Ferrari, so naturally, AMG thought about racing it. And so, they gave it a roll cage, the biggest tires possible, and of course, even more engine. V8 was enlarged from a 6.3 to a 6.8, while the power grew from 250 to 430. That was a lot, as was soon demonstrated at the 24-hour Spa. The Red Pig was easily the fastest car on the track, but you should also realize it was the heaviest and with the biggest appetite. It would do a few laps, it would overtake everyone, and then rush back to the pits for refueling and some new tires. You do that for 24 hours and finish second. Hey, that's pretty good. Pretty dang good, that! Yeah! Sadly, the change in rules meant that the Big Benz couldn't compete for much longer. So, what do you do with a useless race car? Put it in a museum? No, you use it to test fighter jet tires. But that's a story for a different video. Maybe. Comment down below if you want to see it. Number 6, Porsche 959 is the Bugatti Veyron from the late 1980s. It was the fastest and by far most powerful car of its time. It also lost number 7 in the
In the 1960s and 70s, private racers adapted their Porsche 911 to compete in rally races all over Europe, a testament to the versatility of their...
Think about it. Why else did it have that super advanced suspension? Why does the road car have a special gear just for off-road? Rallying, that's your answer. Sadly, the 959 element was finished. Something else finished first. Just too fast. Porsche thought, let's do something even more. Let's take a comparison of time. Imagine flat out for 18 days and over 8,600 miles of not that jealous, but harsh wilderness. Next checkpoint is fingers crossed that we'll see there. So what chance did this usually have? Finished first, second, damn, not bad. Not bad at all. When it comes to circuit racing, it's impossible to find two events more different from each other than NASCAR's Daytona 500 and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. One is all about turning left, bumping into other cars, and French kissing your own sister. She's my sister. Whereas the other is pushing the limits of racing with donkeys for 24 hours straight. France. Look at the cars. This one has more ranges than a James, but the other doesn't even have real headlights. Well, that's not exactly what ended up happening. Team Garage 56 showed up with the NASCAR's next-gen ZL1 and surprised everyone by out-qualifying the entire GTE field. Plus, I should complain and just say that this NASCAR girl wasn't exactly NASCAR's spectacular. They had bigger brakes, much more aero, dive planes, fins, and bigger spoiler. Also, working headlights, the D2 engine for longevity's sake, and much, much more. Pause now if you're that interested. Anyway, even with all these changes, the ZL1 sadly wasn't in spec with all of Le Mans classes either. It was basically racing itself, so why? It's pretty fun to drive. And it was fun for 20 hours until the gearbox gave up. And then took over an hour to replace it, but by then the Camaro had fallen to to be 9th overall. Still not bad for a car that's only turned 12, right? Number 4, Toyota Prius. Compared to the super strict rules of endurance racing, things are much more relaxed in the Japanese series. By that. Yes, the Lambo was the two, but the Prius might have been even more. This is no eco-friendly Gretelmobile, but a highly modified racing version with a mid-mounted hybrid V8 from the Toyota TS030 LMP1 car. It is a purpose-built racer that's only made to look like a Prius. It's a sort of a guerrilla marketing thing. It was a way to sell more road cars and to win over fans, but it wasn't, and in no way was an underdog. This caused a bit of a problem for race organizers. What's next? We're gonna start allowing F1 cars dressed as minivans? So a new rule was introduced. Both the road and the race cars have to have the same engine position. A simple rule, but enough to throw a Prius off balance. This latest one, you should know, sucked, which is why, for the next season, the team chose to run a GR86 instead. Number 3, Lada 110. Designed in 1987 and produced all the way until 2013, this Russian saloon was, as you might expect, not the greatest car ever, but hey, it was cheaper than walking, so it sold well. And that would be all there was to say about this car if it wasn't for a bunch of Russian race car drivers who, in 2007, decided to form a racing team.
Hey guys, what are you doing this weekend?
At first, they ran a BMW 320 SI, but I guess that car was... At first, they ran a BM 2320. A BM 2320? Yeah, that's right. At first, they ran a BMW 320. At first, they ran a BMW M20. God, bitches. At first, they ran a BMW 320 SI, but I guess that car just lacked a certain smell of vodka. Because for the next year, the Russian Bear Motorsports was back with the Lada 110. And yes, it was thoroughly upgraded and all, but this platform was from 1987, and it showed. Here's what it looked like next to all the other cars. And here's what it looked like on the leaderboard. Oh, not good. Still, seeing this homegrown car going head-to-head with some evil Western rivals must have sparked some patriotic flames that a lot of factors.
What on earth? Are you broken or something?
They fully backed the team financially.